Happy holidays, hunters! I'm the SurvivalVis, and we return Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So this episode, we're going to just take it easy for basically the last Sunbreak episode of the year. And we're going to do an event quest or two, depending on time goes. The load I'm taking today is going to be my chunk shot one, which is like the full risen Kushala plus a few augments to the Grand Cross here to give it a beefy attack. But yeah, for what I have, trying to think of what the best way. This might be the best way to go over the skills, but what it has is attack boost 4, peak performance 3, crit boost 3, weakness exploit 3, spare shot 3, normal upload speed, or normal rapid up 3, reload speed 3, recoil 3, recovery up. This is basically built entirely around the mindset of thinking of making our strongest normal 3-shot possible. So we'll see what the damage numbers are like and how quickly you can go through and do it. But I figured I just wanted something nice, relaxing to end the year off with. Not so much I'll look back on things. I'll probably do that more in actual, like, New Year if I do one. But we'll start with... maybe we'll do the Terrible Threes. This might be a good one to go after, since it does have a few monsters to it. But we'll talk a little bit of how Sunbreak was for the year. I think it was a pretty nice release. I had a lot of fun and time with it. Ooh, no skills activated there, but I guess it doesn't hurt. Yeah, we're just going to take it easy with the year coming to a close, relax, wind down, casual bit. Maybe a little bit of talking here and there. I've already outlined like the idea for possibly the next week's 3 Monster Hunter episodes, where it's just going to be maybe some random heavy bowgun builds, because I've not actually tried heavy bowgun much at all in Sunbreak. And then probably looking at when I will be moving on to Monster Hunter World Iceborne ICE. I guess I could call it just Monster Hunter World Ice, because that's kind of what the title screen has it as, but... yeah, my thinking is, because the title updates are probably only going to be including a few monsters at a time now, and we've already seen, like, the entire monster roster, I don't know if I would really keep going that hard with, like, trying to do the anomaly hunts on video or in a series. And with how many builds I've already kind of talked about and over with just the light bowgun, I don't know if I keep going with them either. So it might be something I'll take a break from that to go in and cover World Ice, and just, like, have a proper full series for that as well. I know some people had wanted me to go and do the Generations Ultimate, but I feel like that one is a bit of a harder game to tackle in a sense. Like, one thing is, it is just so freaking loaded with content. It's a game where if I were to do it, I don't know if I could, like, get it all done, because the way I've approached other Monster Hunters, I can't do the same with Generations Ultimate. There's just too much content to cover. Because if I do the, like, say, 1 episode per monster, if I were to go through all the low rank, high rank, and G rank stuff, I do not know when I'd ever actually be finished that series. Because it's... I want to say 94 large monsters. I might be mistaken with it, but I know it's at least 80 large monsters. And trying to go through the multiple ranks and everything, I don't know if I'd be able to do there. Yeah, so we'll start with Lunagaron here. Just set those down and... oh! Oh, perfect. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll probably want to use the Mountain Puncher on Astalos, because it just feels like Astalos might be a little bit of a harder... come on, Garen. There we go. And I found Lunagaron is kind of a not that great of a wyvern ride. There we go, get the knockdown, just a few nice easy hits in. But yeah, I think Astalos, because of the charge up, I'd rather get the Mountain Puncher damage off on him, given I'm using like normal 3 and not an element. Although even then, Astalos has been a monster that has like a few more weird hit zones when you think about like certain monsters. You know what, maybe I'll switch over to him while he's here. Never mind, he's on his way out. Okay, come on, Ashley. Let's just snag our things. But I remember, well, speaking of Generations Ultimate, I do know trying to light bowgun Bolt Reaver Astalos was actually a bit of a pain because he doesn't have very good hit zones for a number of his, well, just anywhere now that I think about it. I think it was only if he was fully charged he got a decent one or two, but even that wasn't exactly all that great either. Oh! Hey, I'll take that, sure. Now, I don't know if I can take Astalos down from up here. No, see, it doesn't look like I can do that, so I've got to go take him down through the tunnels and then to where Garon is. Which, this one? Yeah, this should do it. Okay, come along for a little ride. Donk, 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 donk. Oh yeah, we're going to get a lot of damage on Lunagaron thanks to Astalos here. And we're even going to get the ramped up Punisher damage. Yeah, I don't think we'll have to worry about Lunagaron for too long. With all the damage that got pumped into him, it might not be very long before he goes into, well, not enraged, but the limping state. Ooh, and then we can even get an attack boost here. Nice to see you, big guy. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's just like there were so many particle effects that the, Oh, I had my back turned to him. I forgot to switch out the target cam. Ooh, perfect. And a paralysis to even help us further. Yeah, once we get the affinity to actually hit, we're doing over 200 per shot, which ain't too bad for just normal 3. Oh, and that knocked him out. Oh, we'll just take him down. I do kind of feel like Lunagaron was a bit of a letdown for, like, the 3 lords as they were hyping them up. I just feel like his attack set is a little too basic. Like, when he's in, like, the 4-legged mode, it's basically just a lot of running around. It's, ow. Well, I mean, it still managed to hit me there, but I don't know, I was expecting a little bit more ferocity or feralness to him. He's not a bad design, but he's just a little bit of a mediocre fight to me. But we'll head over after Astalos next, then once he's down, that might bring out Kushala Daora as the last monster we need for this hunt. There we go. Hop on Ashley, there you are, my good girl. And snag that, and just these 2 things, and then we're good to head on off. Oh, and thankfully Astalos didn't go too far now, did it? Okay, just get our way up here. Actually, I hear it stomping around up here. Yeah, we'll head out and begin this fight. One of the reasons why I'm thinking of moving on to World and Iceborne ICE pretty soon is because I don't know when the next title update for Sunbreak might be out. I don't know if it'll like be as soon as January, or it'll be further down the pipeline. The roadmap for that wasn't really that specific once it went past, I think, September's update. Was September or October? I can't really remember. Nope. Okay. Oh, actually, well, I do have to admit the wyvern riding probably saved me a lot of my normal tree ammo. Actually, this kind of feels like a really small Astalos. I think... Oh, I didn't even realize this was ready. Ah, great work there, Runa. God, the Kitinator... I'm going to miss the Kitinator when we're, like, in a game that doesn't have it. It's just been a nice little handy burst damage tool to have and give us a little bit of a stagger or a knockdown to capitalize on. And the monster that's very good to go... see, yeah, the hit zones on Astalos now went down to pretty poor. When he's not charged up, he's a pretty tough monster to deal with. Or at least he takes a little bit more time. Shouldn't be too much longer, though. He is in his... went limp state to fallen state. I kind of feel... I feel like he's one of the smallest Astaloses I've ever hunted. It doesn't look like he's a new record, at least, but... he does feel kind of tiny going up to him like this. Well, we've only got one monster left to hunt, and that's going to be a Kushala Daora. Probably one of the best monster improvements the series has ever had. Because I'm sure many people admit that when you fought him in... well, basically every game before Rise, he was more of a nuisance than enjoyment, or enjoyable. Like, I know as a light bow gunner, he was a pain in, like, say... Even when I was doing the Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate series, he was a pain because of the wind aura he'd get. But Sunbreak and Rise, they did the monster... sorry, Rise and Sunbreak, I should probably keep those chronologically correct. They definitely improved it a fair bit. I'm hoping this is like the new base we'll see if Kushala Daora keeps going forward in the series. Probably will, because I wonder if that's something we could use, like a new Elder Trio. We might kind of have the start of something if I think about it like that. Because we have possibly Velkhana, Namiel. Not sure why I thought that. But yeah, we've got Namiel, we've got Velkhana. Maybe instead of, like... I was going to say, it's kind of like a status Elder Trio right now, because Teostra is more like... I mean, it is Fire Element, but it also has the Blast Element it can inflict. But I was thinking, and Chameleos is more of, like, say, Poison. I was kind of thinking, what if we had more... the opposite, where this trio would focus on, say, elements, because we already have a pretty strong ice element, a thunder water element. Ooh, that would be interesting, like, getting more multi-element monsters like Namiel. Like a dragon, a fire drag. Well, I mean, I guess technically Teostra you could consider as a fire dragon. But what would be others? Oh, actually, one combination, I think it was done in, like, Monster Hunter Frontier. What about, like, an ice-fire monster? Having the complete opposites together. Kind of like how Namiel is a little bit with the... Well, maybe not complete opposites to each other, but... you generally kind of think thunder and water are things not super in combination. Oh, right, Kushala's weakest spot is actually the legs, isn't it? Oh, lordy. Yeah, I gotta shoot for those front legs. That's why I'm not getting the... Ooh! Nice orange numbers. There we go. We'll take you for a little spin, just smack into a few walls. But, yeah, is there anything else to talk about, like what I'd like to see new monsters or anything like that? Nothing overly. I do feel like Monster Hunter, like, for its next flagship... Oh, well, I'm glad I had the wire bug there. Oh, careful. I feel like the next flagship could be something with, like, an element that we don't really see as much of. Like, I was kind of thinking maybe a water element monster. Although that would kind of have to lean up to the setting of the game quite a bit more than I think any other elements. Like, we've had quite a few fire... At least I think it's been a few fire element ones. Rathalos... Maybe it's just been Rathalos. Well, Rathalos, Glavenus, I guess you could consider. I don't know, I'm trying to think of what flagships or what elements could use a little bit better representation and what we haven't seen as, like, flagships before. We've had a number of physical monsters for, like, no elements, such as Nergigante, Tigrex, Seregios. So I think it'd be good to, like, get an element or a status. I don't know how well would a status, like... I'm trying to think of now what I would classify Brachydios as, because he does inflict the blast status, but his attacks and, like, the explosions, I think would qualify more as, like, flaming element, wouldn't it? I'm not sure. I know Thunder, we've had a couple of flagships, and they've been very good flagships, as Zinogre and Lagiacrus. Ice, I think we've... Well, if we don't want to include the, like, Fated 4... Oh. Then I think we've only had Velkhana as, like, an ice element. I wouldn't exactly argue Kushala is ice element. I know the weapons give you ice element or have ice element to them, but let's be honest. Unless you're fighting out Kushala in, like, a snowy map, he doesn't really have an element to his attacks. Although, I'm kind of curious. If I get him to do his tornadoes, like, on the water, would they become, like, water spouts? Oh. It just kind of hit me as a thought now that, like, I was trying to figure out him. But it doesn't look like it. So maybe it's only... maybe they just have him, like, as a null element for his attacks, but... I feel like we could use... Water and ice elements are ones that often seem to be a little harder to design with in mind. But it's hard to say exactly what direction the series is going to go forward next. I do admit, I'd like to see a little bit more grounding, kind of like how World was, just like with the weight and the pacing of combat. It's not to say, like, Rise and Sunbreak were bad for it, but I feel like it took until Sunbreak for the monsters to kind of, like, match how dynamic the player could be. And even now, as you're seeing, with certain monsters and hunts, the monsters don't really keep up all that well, to some degree. Okay, there's Kushala hit his limping point. See if I can just break the horns. Oh, shoot, missed.
Just a bit more.
Yeah, it won't be too much longer. And then we'll probably just use this as the one quest. I think because it's taken a little bit longer to beat down Kushala than the other two is why this one went a little bit longer than planned.
Be careful.
Actually, kind of looks like he's rusted here. Must just be the lighting from the... Oh, well, that does it. The lighting from the area. Yeah, he kind of... Maybe it's just... Yeah, he has, like, more of this copper coloration down here for whatever reason. Well, yeah, there's just a nice little event quest to round out the year, finish us off with a little something like that to do. I'm curious to know if you guys are excited to see, like, if I cover World ICE. I'm sure there's going to be a few people disappointed I'm not going to do Generations Ultimate. My kind of problem with that is, for it, I often find you either have to go into the Adept style to survive hits, or use Valor mode. And it feels like it's a little too easy with them. I don't know, I still feel like it's way too much content to do as, like, a video series. Maybe streaming I might, but I have to weigh it more. I think it's a better experience if I were to do World and Iceborne with ICE. So yeah, I'll probably let you guys a little bit know more as I get closer to when I'll start covering it. And it's not next week, maybe the week after, but I'll see how things go just for holidays and such. Let it calm down a little bit more, and then I'll have a better idea of what I can and can't do. Oh, I got the fist bump pose set. And some titles. Yeah, we'll head back to Elgato. Wish you guys all well. Enjoy your Happy New Year, as this should be going out just before that weekend coming up. It has been a very enjoyable experience going through just playing Sunbreak and just having it on the channel at all. Like, I don't know how long it'll be till we'll see the next title update, so that's kind of my leaning, is just a little bit of light or heavy bowgun build, and then on to next Monster Hunter series. But thank you all very much for joining me on this episode of Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to give a like, and if you have any comments, tips, or tricks, be sure to comments right down below. Until I do see you on the next episode, Hunters and Survivors, please remember, as always, to take care, stay alive, happy hunting, and happy holidays.